So after last week talking about Gundam and everything like that, although I guess that was actually 2 weeks ago now, I was thinking about retro card games and my experience playing card games that are alive versus card games that are retro and kind of non-changing. And I wanted to talk a little bit about nostalgia and how that affects how I feel about card games, but I couldn't really find a good angle. What is funny is that same week, which I guess will be last week now, by the time this video is done, that's when Retro Pack 2, the 2024 reprint, came out. And so that was kind of the perfect segue for me to talk about this. So I got a couple of boxes and I'll open them up while I just discuss my general feelings around retro card games and nostalgia. So as someone who's been playing card games for a while, I've accumulated a lot of formats that are very near and dear to my heart. Specifically around Yu-Gi-Oh! I think of TOS format. I think of the remote duel format during COVID. These are times when I was really invested in the game. And I really enjoyed the process of playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, learning about the decks. It's a very complicated game with a lot of decisions. And so that was really fun for me and kept me very entertained during that time. What I think is difficult is when I look back on that time with a lot of nostalgia, it makes me want to go and play modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. However, and Farfa made a great video on this about rejoining the game as a father and someone with not as much time. It is a different game now. And so even though I look back on playing modern Yu-Gi-Oh! With a lot of nostalgia, it's also not the same game now. And if I were to go back, or rather go and play modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, it will not be going back to that time. The game is different. So what I think kind of fills that gap for me is retro card games. These are times where you can play with cards that make you feel that sense of nostalgia, right? One of those for me is Elemental Hero Stratos. I remember going to the YMCA, my dad driving me and playing Heroes. Literally, I got Stratos from Shonen Jump magazine and, you know, the Jaden starter deck, and that was essentially my deck. And so playing with the Shonen Jump Stratos, which is the only Stratos that I play with, even though, you know, there are maybe better looking copies out there, it holds a lot of nostalgia for me and brings me, you know, back to that time. But it also lets me kind of go forward in a way, right? Edison as a format, for example, is always changing. And same with, you know, 2006 Pokemon or 2010 Pokemon. These are other retro formats that I enjoy. They do change, right? Text change as people play the game more. And there's still interesting things in the format left to discover. I try very hard not to get caught up in that sense of nostalgia and that sense of wanting to go back, because I am a different person now. Things look different to me. I feel differently. And as much as I like those formats, going and playing modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not the way to get that feeling back, right? What I really enjoyed about those times are the process of learning the game. And I can play that in a way that also kind of scratches that itch of playing cards like Stratos and these cards and formats that mean a lot to me. Ultimately, the reason that I play card games is because of the connection that it brings and the feeling of playing this game with other people and connecting with them and talking about it. And so even though it's fun to revisit, I think ultimately what's important is moving forward.